please welcome the Javits Center Sustainability Team.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Javits Center. I hope you all are having an amazing day. Before I start with the presentation, I wanted to congratulate all of you for the amazing work that you all are doing. Ms. Manuela shared with me the amazing activities that you participated in all of your schools. And let me tell you, as a mom myself of 2 kids, a middle schooler and a high schooler, I am so proud of all of you for what you're doing and what you're learning. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for your interest in learning about sustainability. Now let's learn about what Javits Center is and what we are doing as a sustainability team at Javits Center. So let me introduce myself. My name is Yashi Dadij. I am the Director of Energy and Sustainability at Javits Center. This is Julia. She is the Sustainability Operations Manager at Javits Center. Isabel, she is the Sustainability Specialist. And we have our wonderful intern, Grace. Our sustainability story at Javits Center, we are making sure that we are not only saying things, that we are doing sustainable practices in our operations, but we also want to make sure that we are a better neighbor for all of our neighborhood. We also want to make sure that as a state entity, as a state agency, we are the driver for the economic growth for the state as well. And we want to support our future generation, such as all of you. And we want to educate all of you as well. So our story, we opened our doors in 1986, long back, right? So our story is coming all the way from 1986 to 2023. And as some of you might already know, this is the busiest convention center in the country. And we, as I mentioned, that we want to be the economic driver, financial driver for the state. And that's what we have been doing, that how do we do all of this in a responsible manner for all of you in your future generations.
Hi, everybody. So you can see on this picture what the green roof used to look like before we had a renovation. So in the first 20 or so years of the Javits Center, we had no green roof, and we had these really reflective glass panels, and we were actually the #1 bird killer in New York City. We were an enemy of New York City Audubon, and this was before we had the opportunity to renovate. So we underwent a really big renovation from 2009 to 2014, and one of the biggest things we did was add an extensive green roof. So extensive just means that it's really thin compared to an intensive green roof, which the farm that you'll see on this tour, this is an intensive green roof where there's up to 1 foot of soil. You probably passed our green roof on your way in, and you'll pass it again on your way out, but you can look out and see. That was one of the biggest changes that we did, and I'll get into some of the benefits of that. The bird-friendly glass, it reduced our bird deaths by 95%. So we went from an enemy of New York City Audubon to a close friend, and that kind of launched the sustainability story here. We thought, what else could we do next? We hired people with sustainability in their title to champion those efforts. The team has grown. We added our first 5 beehives and then 4 more on this roof that we'll point out on the tour. And we did research with universities to study the impacts of these changes. And that way we could justify continuing to grow the program and do more. So one of the biggest benefits of green roofs is stormwater mitigation. So as you might know, big rain events, they end up pulling pollution off the city streets. There's nothing to absorb into, and pulling pollution and trash into the Hudson River. But when you add green infrastructure, like the green roof here at the Javits Center, you're able to retain stormwater and reduce polluted water that's carrying chemicals into riverways or rivers like the Hudson River. So some of the results from the studies with Drexel included that we have an average retention of 77% over the course of the year. And it's 18 times as cost effective as compared to a subsurface cistern in Midtown. And that study came from Drexel. Another impact is thermal regulation. So we were able to compare the green roof. One section of it was put in before another section. So we still had some blacktop roof, which is more standard across New York, and we could study the difference. And we found that the sedum roof was 31% cooler than the black membrane roof that preceded it. and it reduced the heat flux into the building by about 46%. And what that means is you don't need to cool as much in the summer or heat as much as in the winter, and so that was a 26% energy reduction that all contributed to. This slide again represents some of those really vast differences and urban heat island effect that our green roof is able to reduce.
Hi everyone. So after our 2014 renovation was completed, a couple years later in 2021, we expanded the Javits Center. So after the 1.2 million square foot expansion, now the Javits Center sits on 6 blocks and it is 3.3 million square feet, which is pretty huge. So because of that expansion and because of all of the square footage we have, we were able to incorporate a rooftop farm, a food forest, and a greenhouse into the building's design, which you'll see in a second. So we also were able to include a 4-level truck marshaling facility. And even though that doesn't sound very interesting, it's pretty awesome because you're able to park 200 trucks in there at once. And when all of the trucks are coming to the event, they can be parked in there and they don't have to idle around the building and emit carbon. And they also don't have to take trips back to New Jersey. So we're cutting down on our emissions related to our events. We also have a 30 megawatt microgrid with state-of-the-art generators that allow us to be off the grid for up to 6 consecutive days if needed. And that's part of our resiliency plan. We also have 1,400 solar panels installed in 2022. This is the single largest rooftop project in Manhattan and will generate 10% of our building's power. So these will be energized at the end of May, which we're very excited about. And our battery energy storage system is expected to be activated in November. Beehives. We have 9 beehives across our rooftop, 4 on the Javits North rooftop and 3 on our green roofs. And we continue to harvest honey and distribute to visitors as our pigeons need it and as we have tours that come to the building. And we manage the hives, but we also have Aster Apiaries, which is a beehive management company that we work with. So maybe one day you'll get a little jar of Javits honey that you can try.
Here at the Javits Center, we also want to make sure that we're reducing food waste and that our crops don't get into landfill. So we have Jacob's Harvest, which is a pickling line. We pickle different crops from the farm that don't go to events or our cafeteria, so things like cucumbers, radishes, ginger. We also harvest the honey from our beehives. We also have a roof-to-table program here at the Javits Center. The first year, this program was last year in 2022. We served over 137,000 meals with farm products, and 45% of our catering menu uses products from the farm. We have a very special relationship here between our chefs and our farmers. Our in-house catering team, CULTIVATED, and our farmers from Brooklyn Grange are able to discuss with each other and plan specifically for events throughout the summer months. And we can maximize the crops grown on our farm to be included in all the catering orders here at the Javits Center.
So we'll introduce our farmers before we launch the tour. We've got Orion Ashmore and Stina Seberg, our 2 farm managers from Brooklyn Grange. So Brooklyn Grange is the company that operates and manages the farm, and they've got a crew that may or may not be around, but they'll be stationed throughout the tour to answer questions, as will we.
And we also have 2 of our wonderful ambassadors, Elizabeth and Loretta. Thank you, all of you. Welcome to Javits Center, and let's go walk around and take a look at our beautiful farm. Thank you.